What's up guys, Ila Red here, and today we're talking about the Soviet Tier 8 light tank LTTB. LTTB stands for Light Tank of Heavy Armoring, and this light tank of heavy armoring takes us from ugly and great LTG to T-54 lightweight and ending in T-100LT. Let's see what LTTB has to offer now. And yes, this is a battle with Tier 6 tanks, maybe not the most representative, but it shows the best of what this tank is capable of in terms of both scouting and shooting. I really wanted to show you both, and I think this was my very first battle in this tank since rebalance. You can see I have a weird ammo setup, I just forgot to change it then. Okay, first main scouting stuff. We have 380 meters view range and up to 32% camo, which is below average on Tier 8. We don't really suffer much from lack of view range or camo. Usually it's enough, but we should be careful against HWK, well, just like any other light tank in the game. And apart from that, we might be losing in the open to some other LT8 like Batchat 12T or Bulldog or Black Dog also. They will outspot us in the open, but not with terribly big advantage. And if you have good crew, you should have no problems. You will probably outspot enemy lights with good crew. So by view range camo, LTTB is okay-ish. I would want it to be a little better, but this works too. Especially because next we talk about the mobility. And I even want to start with giving a grade to it, A+. Great power to weight, great acceleration, very good top speed, turns quickly, amazingly good ground resistance. Absolutely nothing to complain about, even if you are the pickiest person ever. Driving in this tank is a pleasure itself. You are never ever late anywhere, you can scout actively, aggressively, you can be first in any bush you only wish to take. The most mobile LT8, even more mobile than Batchat 12T, which also has great mobility, but still LTTB wins the first prize. And despite a pretty big size, LTTB on full speed is a very difficult target to hit. It can dodge enemy fire really well. This tank is really great for playing aggressively and risky. Well, Ilya, you said LTTB stands for Light Tank of Heavy Armoring, so where's the armor, Lebowski? As you can see, LTTB's armor is sloped everywhere, and the whole front of the tank is 90mm, and the whole side is 45. Doesn't sound too impressive for Tier 8 tank, but first of all, if you meet Tier 6 tanks, they can really have problems penetrating you. Don't forget that your armor is sloped everywhere, so Tier 6 tanks with around 140-150 penetration could struggle penning you, and some guns with up to 175mm of penetration could also ricochet from time to time. Also, this armor thickness means that whenever you are hit, there is no triple caliber rule invoked that will automatically make you take damage, and from time to time almost all kinds of guns will bounce from you. It's a good surprise. You can't really count on it in most cases, but it's always nice to see non-zero value in blocked damage counter. Now, let's have a look at the gun of LTTB, and the gun is pretty familiar. The gun wasn't changed much in 918. 180 alpha, 170 main pen, 216 gold pen, and your high explosives deal 300 damage, almost twice the AP damage. Both main and gold shell velocity is very comfortable to shoot at any distance, both are over 1000. You really lack both main and gold penetration, so you have to choose targets which you can penetrate, and this really forces you to play as a light tank, as a scout, as a support. But if you get to someone's side or back, you'll give them hell. The DPM of LTTB was slightly nerfed in 918, but in practice your reload changed like from 4 to 4.3 seconds or so in practice that has little to no effect, and no other LT8 can keep enemy tracked as easily as LTTB, which can reset enemy's repair timer all the time. Now imagine shooting high explosives with 300 alpha at Borzik every 4 and a bit seconds. The tin can will certainly enjoy it. So take a few high explosives for such a case, but your ammo capacity isn't really big, so maybe 5-6 high explosives would be best. In 918, LTTB got also a huge gun handling buff, so the gun handling is now the feature of the Soviet line, LT line, and LTTB aims very quickly because the aiming circle doesn't get very big on the move. And yes, it can shoot on the move as well, of course. Apart from that, 2 extra degrees of gun depression that weren't actually extra. Now it's finally -5, which is of course a lot better, but still it doesn't feel too comfortable due to the size of the tank. As you could notice, LTTB is pretty large. Does it make problems in terms of scouting? Not really. It's just so quick and mobile that even its size doesn't make many problems. Again, I would want it to be a little more compact, but this works fine. What does, however, make some problems is that the tank is tall. Yes, it used to have 3 degrees of gun depression, now it's 5, it's better, but since you're tall, those 5 degrees still aren't just enough. You can't drive out on top of the hill to shoot someone because you need to show the whole hull, the whole tank, and you'll be like Eiffel Tower. For comparison, some Chinese WZ-132 also has 5 degrees of gun depression, but it's a lot lower and harder to hit if it drives out on top of the hill to make a shot. And again, I wouldn't really call it something terrible. It's something you'll have to get used to, it's just a special thing about this tank, but generally you just learn to play with it and it should be fine. So, let's make a short summary about what LTTB is. LTTB has okay view range and okay-ish camo, nothing outstanding, could be better, but still playable. It has absolutely outstanding mobility, which makes it very good active and aggressive scout, even though the tank is pretty large. The gun of LTTB has good DPM, fires very often, but has low penetration, so focus on softer targets and sides of the enemies. LTTB is the first real scout in the Soviet light line, and it's really fun to play. So leave your opinion about this tank in the comments, or maybe you just want to tell me something else, I will be happy to read it. Thank you for watching guys, and see you in the next videos.